training is, why is it done, is it really required for your career, and does it really help you grow as a person and as your career as well? So what exactly is Vision CA? So Vision CA is basically a community where we actually help the budding chartered accountants to fulfill all their dreams with all the vigor that they can. We want that all the struggles, all the various difficulties that probably we had while studying, we can actually share with you all and help you all overcome it faster. So we actually help people from inter, foundation and final to grow and clear exams as fast as possible. So welcome all to this amazing session. And we have some amazing panelists who are chartered accountants and who are to be chartered accountants. I would like them to just come up and speak what they've done, what they have gone through, what they have felt throughout their journey. So starting with you, Apurva, can you go ahead, please?
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you're absolutely audible. Please go ahead.
My name is Apurva, and I have done my articleship training from SK Patodia and then Ansari Kirk and Associates. I have joined Grasim Industries and Industries Limited as CA Industrial Trainee, and my final attempt is due in November 2022.
Amazing. And how was your experience with the industrial training that you did? How is it going? Was it helpful towards you?
So it has been about 3 months. I have completed 3 months in Grasim Industries. I am working in the corporate taxation group. And I think the exposure is amazing. Like during my articleship training as well, I worked in taxation, but like this is really good. Like I think industrial training exposes you to this wide area. You get to explore you get to network with so many people, and like you get to know so much about it. Like I think it's really good. Like I'm glad that I joined industrial training.
Wonderful. We would like to know more from you. But before that, can we know more about the other panelists? Kusum, can you just chip in and tell more about you? I think Kusum is facing some problem. I'll look after that. Bandhan, Avijit, Abhishek, can you go ahead?
Hi everyone, I am Bandhan Preet Singh, and I happen to be the industrial trainee in Amazon, and I completed my industrial training last year in the business finance team. And so far, it was really a great exposure, and working in a challenging and stimulating environment makes you learn many things, and it acts as an add-on to your personality. So it was great working, and so looking forward to share some more valuable insights with those who are aspiring for industrial training.
That's wonderful. Can we move on to Avijit? Are you available?
Yeah. Hi, Simi. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. My name is Avijit Kashyap, and I am an aspiring CA. I've done my articleship from Deloitte in statutory audit, and I've joined as an industrial trainee in Hindustan Unilever. And I've been there for 4 months as of now. And I can say that I've had a really sharp learning curve. Every day I've learned something new, and I think an accumulation of all these learnings will really differentiate once I'm qualified.
Nice. That's wonderful. So we have 2 chartered accountants too as well. Can we move on to the chartered accountants? Please share your journey, your experiences too. Abhishek, can we have you on board?
Yeah, hi. Hello everyone. My name is Abhishek Goyal. I'm belonging from Karnal, Haryana. I have done my industrial training from Aditya Birla Group, Mumbai, in their corporate strategy and business development department. At their work related to strategy formulation, helping the business moving forward in their business developing, like by new markets, introducing new market, new products, this type of things. Like it is a different fields from chartered accountants normally do, like tax and audit. So it was a great overall experience in this field.
That's amazing. I mean, so inspiring. Kusum, are you available now? Are you able to unmute? Can you go ahead?
Yeah. Hi, Simi. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon to each and everyone. Hi, guys. This is CA Kusum. I cleared my chartered accountancy attempt in July 2021 attempt. I had done my articleship from a broker firm based in Gurgaon itself, wherein I had exposure in internal audit and statutory audit profile. Then I moved on with working with Microsoft in internal audit and risk advisory profile for 1 year. Completing my industrial training over therein, I joined Flipkart as a semi-qualified CA for 6 months. And currently, I'm working as finance business partner in a startup, in an edtech startup. So look forward to sharing my industrial experience with all of you.
Looking forward to hear more from you, Kusum.
Thank you, Simi.
Would really love to listen from you. So I think so even I am myself a chartered accountant cleared in July 21 attempt. So as a CA student, one thing that always comes to everyone's mind is that what should we do? How can we make the most of our time as a CA student? More can we grab from the atmosphere? So can you all please help us understand that is choosing industrial training as an option beneficial for a CA student or not?
Okay, so let me take this up.
Sure.
So first of all, starting from the basics, in articleship, a student basically get two categories in which they can work in, which is audit and taxation. So once you complete 1 year in an articleship, and if you are able to figure out that you want to pursue your career in audit or taxation, then that's good. But if you have figured out that you want to do something apart from that, so that is a starting point where you should start researching about industrial training and what all opportunities lie in it. Okay, so one basic question that everybody has is, what is different in industrial training? What sets industrial training apart from articleship? Firstly, when you're working in industrial training, you'll be doing something which will be building up for a career. So, for example, in my case, I love SCMP, which is Strategic Cost Management and Performance Evaluation subject. So I started looking for industrial training in strategy departments, and I'm working in one as well. So every day I get to learn something which is of my interest and of something that I want to pursue my career in. Sorry? Should I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Secondly, there's a difference in the technical skills. So in articleship, you will get an hands-on experience in Excel, whether it's a Big Four firm or a mid-sized firm. But when it comes to industrial training, along with Excel, you'll also have to work on PPT, which is a technical skill which is not looked up to by many of us as CA students because we work on Excels day and night. So when I started my industrial training, I realized the importance of alignments and then portraying your message in a slide, etc. And we understand that we have to also portray the entire projects on PPTs. So that is a very important skill that you learn before you are qualified. Okay, so coming to the third point, which is about reviews. In articleship, if you are working in audit, so what you will need to review is that your numbers are tallying and your financials are giving a true and fair view. Okay, but in industrial training, you have to prepare decks. Decks is nothing but a fancy term for PowerPoint presentation. So you will have to work on projects where you make many slides. And in the last, you will have to review your entire slide with your seniors and your teammates. That will challenge your communicating skills. You'll have to make sure that you communicate very effectively with your team and the story is coming out. You have to be very responsible with all the numbers that you are putting in the slide, what story is coming out, how is this giving an output to the team. Another point, sorry, I'll just take a break.
That's fine.
Okay, so the next point regarding this is the responsibility that comes in industrial training. If you're working in a very closely lit team, in my case, a team of 4 or 5 people, then you become more responsible. You have to take up your work. You have to make sure that you finish your work end to end and you're adding some value to the team. Wherein in the case of articleship, usually you have senior articles or assistant managers who will review your work and make sure that everything is covered. So here you are on your own. One last point regarding industrial training is in recent terms, there is a boom of startups in India. So for example, if you want to create your own startup in any field, or you want to work in a startup, so you get an opportunity to do that while you are a CA student. Imagine getting an experience of 18 months in a startup, which you yourself want to create after being qualified chartered accountant. So that is an opportunity that ICAI is offering you right now. And I think you should grab it by both of your hands. Thank you.
Yeah, true. I think startup with Shark Tank coming up in India is like a boom everywhere. So
Yeah.
the budding chartered accountants just flowing like river into the startups. So I think industrial training, as Abhijit said, which will actually help us find the area where we want to start up into. One more question I think the participants would be having is, so we all know that the tenure of the industrial training has moved up to 18 months. So, I have heard that now the area of industrial training has gone up to another level. Like you can enter the income tax department. You can sit with Piyush Goyal and help him with all the corporate matters and the industrial matters. You can also, venture into big companies like HUL and Aditya Birla, and with like big companies in which you are. So can you please help me understand that how this increase of tenure of industrial training to 18 months is like a big game for everyone? Can you help us like identify like 2-3 points on that?
So an 18-month industrial training is having two major advantages. One advantage will be on the basis of practical learning, and another one will be on the basis of studying. So everyone knows that studies are the utmost priority for any CA student. Before there were 12-month industrial trainees. So once you're joining industrial training, you'll be having 7 months left for your CA final exam, and in those 7 months you'll be getting a 3-month leave. So that means you'll be getting a 4-month experience before a CA final exam. In those 4 months, you have to learn something new from scratch, and as well you have to study hard. But in today's terms, ICAI have done a very brilliant solution by providing an 18-month industrial training. In my case, I've completed 4 months of industrial training with 7 months left for my exams. And by 4 months done, I am already knowing all the functions, and I'm quite comfortable in my job right now. So I can leverage this and provide more time to my studies, which was not available previously. So that is one advantage. And another advantage will be in terms of 18 months. Even after your exams, you'll be getting 4 to 5 months in industrial training. And that is the time you have to really leverage all your learnings, in that you have to distinguish the difference between a trainee and an employee. And that is how you'll get a PPO before you're qualified.
That's amazing. That is really insightful, Abhijit. We had a lot of fun listening to you. But I think this sounds very attractive. But out of all the attractiveness that we could find out, one question which haunts every CA student is कि चलो कर तो लिया, पर एग्जाम पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा, मैं पढ़ाई कैसे करूंगा, ये सब कैसे मैनेज होगा, अगर नहीं हुई पढ़ाई तो क्या होगा, फेल तो नहीं हो जाऊंगा. So I would like the chartered accountants to chip in and help us understand that what will be the impact on exam and studies of the industrial training that happens if we choose to.
Yeah, I will take up this. Like in the articleship, like we are getting the 4 months leave, 5 months leave, but in an industrial training, like mostly organizations are giving only 3 months leave, but it can be dependent on company to company. Also, some industries are given only 2 months leave. So like we have to show that like we have to cover our whole syllabus in this 2 months or 3 months leave. Or like some organization also asking for leaving the attempt. Like if you are okay with leaving the attempt, then you can go surely for that, because like you get the experience in industrial training which you will get after a qualification, and so you have a earlier advantage before qualification. Like you will get this. And for like managing the studies, I will say like you have to cover near about their 4 or 5 coachings before your starting of their industrial training. So you have managed their coachings and studies as well in rest of the period. And before the 3 months of your preparation leaves, you have covered all your coachings, as well as try to do a one-time revision of all the subjects. So you in the last 3 months, you will get a better get a better advantage on your subjects as well. So you will surely clear this in that attempt.
Another thing that I would like to add is that nowadays, since many companies have a startup culture, so where gone are the days like when you started to put your attendance time in and time out. Like now, those days are gone. So in a startup culture, so it's about you, that how you manage your work. And secondly, in fact, companies are offering work from home options. So like if you can manage your work from home, you don't need to come to office. You don't need to show up to office. You can work from home, and that too as per your flexibility. So the ultimate goal that what they require from you to achieve is that just complete your work with efficiently and effectively. That's the main. So I think this is also an added advantage over articleship, where now in articleship, like especially in big fours, like people end up at the day filling time sheets and all. And apart from that, like they have to also travel to different outstations and all. So I think there you do not have any flexibility, because you have to fulfill the client commitments to the third party. So when you are serving a third party, so you have to commit something and you have to do that. There are I would say hardcore deadlines there. However, in industrial training, you have some deadlines, but yes, you can manage at your own. And of course, this can also help you to devote more time for your studies as well. And also, like nowadays, since COVID time, so many companies are also offering work from home, so your travel time is also saved. So it better, like those who are from Delhi, they can better correlate it, like traveling from Delhi to Gurgaon and reaching at Gurgaon hotel. It takes around 2 hours to travel at one side. So to and fro, you take 4 hours to just travel only. I think that is being saved. That time one can devote in his studies and can complete his classes as well.
Well said, Bandhan. I would just like to add one point, Simi, here. So while we're talking about studies, we will also have to take into consideration the MCS and advanced ITT training that we have to undergo. So since before 18 months tenure that has been recently launched by ICE, when the industrial training tenure was 12 months, all the aspirants used to complete their all these training, MCS and advanced ITT, in the 3 months leave tenure that they get. So they used to waste their time in going through that. So normally what I suggest to all the aspirants is to complete their advanced ITT and GMCs before undergoing the industrial training tenure, because you will not be getting extra leaves for that. You have to manage the leaves that you get in this period only. So you'll get extra time for studies as well.
Okay. Listening to you all, one thing that I particularly understand is that planning is very important throughout the phase. If we don't work planningly, there's going to be work pressure, difficult environment, not able to manage studies, ITT, MCS, etc. Because there are hundreds of things that we do along with just the CA final study. So can you please throw light on how to manage this work pressure and, actually do everything together?
Yeah, I'll take this up. So when I was in Microsoft, the work pressure was not that hectic, but I had 3 to 4 seniors on me who used to delegate the work on a daily basis. How I used to manage work was I used to make an Excel sheet wherein I used to write the task that I have to do in the day, and the work that I can do in a quick time, I used to do that work first. So it's called prioritizing your work. That way you'll be handling your work easier. So first task that I can do in a 1 hour, I'll do that. The second task that will like me to have a research on the topic or would demand more time from me, I'll take it a little later. So I'll prioritize the work basically.
Yeah, because self-belief and hard work is only the stepping stone to success. So if you don't prioritize, things definitely go for a toss. So we have a lot of panelists from Aditya Birla, HUL, you from Microsoft, Amazon. So the work environment it will be very challenging. I mean, the kind of different tasks that are offered, which are completely out of the zone of what study is. So how do you all manage the challenging environments along with these important studies?
I think I can further deliberate on this. So I remember when I joined Amazon, it was a COVID era, and I was supposed to relocate to Bangalore. However, I couldn't relocate there due to worsening situations in Bangalore. So I had worked for entire 12 months from home, and that was in a bit challenging in itself. So let me just be clear in one thing. In industrial training, like there is no spoon feeding at all. Like from the very start of the articleship, like we have a habit of depending upon our seniors or our managers that they would come up and teach us something. Now in industrial training, it's not like that. There is a bit change. Now there you have to put some things you at your own. So like basically, uh, sorry, should I continue?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So initially it seems challenging. Now, in fact, you can imagine how challenging it would have been for me when I joined from work from home, and I didn't know anything about the company. I didn't know about the office culture or what are the timings and all. So it's been a challenging, but yes. So that's what I said. Like the ideology is like challenging in terms of like you have to push things at your own. You have to show a yearn for learning. So no one would come to your desk and teach you something like that's done in a normal classroom. So you have to you will be just briefed about the task that you have to do, and by which time you have to complete. Now if you are stuck up somewhere, so you can ask for the support, but firstly it's like you are encouraged to deep dive at your own, because when you deep dive at your own, you use your own analytical skills, you use your own professional efficiencies, or you might be using your past experience if you are in the same profile as you worked the same as you worked in articleship. So when you use your own mind, so you might get some another innovative idea to do that work in a more efficient manner and to get the best results. So uh, initially it's challenging, but after sometimes it becomes stimulating as well. Like nowadays, in fact, I have seen that now it has become a new normal for me. Like whenever I am stuck up somewhere, so I had that habit of researching things. There's enough support available on YouTube. In fact, think of those guys who are studying at their own. They are who are studying for CA finding classes at their own. They do not have any guidance from teachers and all, but enough support is there in YouTube, I would say. There are free classes, free charts are available, free classes are available, and ABC analysis is being there, notes are freely available. So that's what I mean. Say the ideology is to make you self-dependent rather than being handicapped and depending on someone else to come you and teach you something. And that is how you learn. And effectively, after 1 year, you will experience that this will make your life easy when you will be joining a post qualification in a bigger MNC or somewhere like ITC or HUL. So that's how it makes impact on your self development and growth as well.
That's amazing. So I could just quote one thing on this, that success is something that is not given, which is particularly earned. So just run behind it and you'll definitely get it. And participants, I would like to tell you one thing, that Bandhan himself is a May 2022 aspirant. And it's very good. It is very good that he's coming and helping us understand. Thank you, Bandhan, for that. So apart from this, one question that was like booming in my mind is that as a chartered accountant, we are constantly engrossed with only books, books, books. We don't get that much of opportunity to interact with wide array of people. So does industrial training as a whole help in networking and meeting different minds, which probably helps us further?
Yeah, so I think Sina, I can take this up.
Sure.
Regarding networking. So one basic difference between networking and industrial training and articleship is that in articleship, you will be able to network with CAs, right? But when you go to industrial training, there will be people from diverse backgrounds. So in my case, I have met people who are engineers, who are MBAs from the best business institutes of India, engineers from IITs, and even many chartered accountants. So when I say networking, it's not going to be available very easily. You'll have to ask for it. You have to try to make conversations with people, because when you're working in such an organization, there will be many people who are 10 years, 15 years ahead of you, who are working probably something that you dream of becoming one day and work to. So it's called an osmosis effect. Okay, so when you're working in an organization, you have to try to approach people and ask them for a coffee conversation. You can book 10-15 minutes in a day with your senior, and you can ask regarding the industry or certain learnings he got while his experience. All these all these learnings day by day will really help you further in your career. Maybe this is something that we will not realize right now, but once you're qualified, you will really realize the importance of all these learnings. To give you an example regarding this, is that nowadays IPL is going on, right? And if you watch any match, after the match is over, there's a post-match scene where you can see many youngsters in a group with Virat Kohli or MS Dhoni, and they are asking their personal questions regarding batting or bowling. So we cannot compare it directly, but you can resemble to it. It is something related to that. Since you are also an aspiring chartered accountant, you're not certainly ready, but you are asking your doubts and queries, and the CAs or MBAs of that field are answering them and giving you their learnings, and that will help you in your career.
That's amazing. I mean, making new friends, meeting new people is one time important for a startup as well, guys. So just go ahead, talk, have fun. And okay, we got to know about the pros of it. But so we had someone on the chat also asking that what are the various profiles available for industrial training. Can you please guide some light on that? That which are the areas where people are commonly recruited for industrial training, and which are the areas which are now open for budding chartered accountants?
Okay, so I think Bandhan is on mute, right?
Yeah.
Can you unmute him?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, definitely. Please go ahead.
So I have tried to make a list of around 9 profiles that in which chartered accountant is normally recruited in an industry. So gone are the days like when a chartered accountant used to work only in taxation or auditing or let's say financial reporting. Now there are also other profiles available, and day to day, day by day, when the businesses are evolving, so more opportunities are there in the market. So starting with the first one is the treasury management. So I would like to, after going by each profile, I would like to give some examples. So like that will help you understand better that how that profile, how that how that profile works. Now, treasury management. So basically, you have a role that how to, invest funds, how to get funds in your company. Majorly, like big companies have separate treasury departments, which have the main role, like in case of surplus, where to invest that money, taking into consideration your risk appetite and at the same time the rate of return. So obviously the higher risk you take, the higher returns you have. And at the same time, like if you are you are having you are shortage, or you have shortage of funds, so it's up to you that from where do you raise your money. Like do you want to raise it from a short term finance or on cash credit basis, or you want to go for a long-term loan on some security basis, or you might mean you want to mortgage something. So and at the same time, like if you have surpluses, so there are various options available in the market. You can either invest in the FD, the safest way to invest, and with a fixed return. However, if a company is a bit more moderate in terms of risk, so it might take to invest in equity-oriented mutual funds or debts, or they're investing in some investing in a stake of another company or a competitor. So that's how this department works. Now, secondly, being the business finance. Business finance, now it's a bit dynamic profile, and nothing is fixed there. So basically, business finance, one analyzes the profitability of the company. It might be a particular business segment, or it might be the whole business of a company. So at the same time, you also work on the cost optimization. So like for example, like you have 3 products, so this is what you normally doing theoretically in costing as well. Like you analyze that which product is giving you more contribution per unit, or which product is giving you more net profit per unit, or where you have higher cost in terms of let's say any higher variable cost you are earning, and where you can achieve the economies of scale. So that's how business finance works. And Depending upon the organization structure of the company, business finance may be segregated into further niche areas. For example, financial controllership might be there, or there might be vendor management, in which you would be collaborating with your vendors to fix the rates as lowest as possible in order to save the cost of the company. So that's how it works. The third one being the risk management. Now, let me tell you, like normally there are three kinds of risk: operational risk, strategic risk, and the third one being the operational strategic, and the third one being the financial risk. Here I am talking about the operational risk, and some people also call it, yes, internal audit, surely. So needless to elaborate much on it, you might have heard internal audit a bit, and some of you who are working in this first or second year, they might have known. So basically, I would just give a brief of this. Internal auditing, basically, the main task is that you have to give assurity to the company that your company is risk free. There are controls in the company in which are there to mitigate the risk. So basically, you have task of reviewing the processes, and you need to find out the loopholes in the process which might lead to the fraud in a company. So that's how internal audit works. So in this profile, you might be asked to travel to various locations of the company. It might be a warehouse, it might be a service center. So that's how vast the exposure is there in this field. And day by day, its essence is being increased, because nowadays many scams are happening. The next one being financial reporting, as obviously self understood that in financial reporting. Now here you would be on the other side of the table. So in auditing, you used to check the accounting treatment of various aspects, various transactions. Here you would be guiding your accounting team how to present that in your financial statements, or how to deal with that. Now, again, like your role as a trainee might be limited to some extent, because you are for a limited period. So obviously your role might be limited, but yes, the more you learn, like the more urge you have to learn, you can of course explore a lot. So I had one of my colleagues who was working in a logistics company. Now that logistics company had around more than 200 hubs in different cities from which the couriers are delivered. Now those all were on lease. So now he has the task of analyzing the impact on accounting treatment of each and every warehouse that has been taken on lease. So practically how vast you can go. So managing lease accounting of more than 200 warehouses is of course a great opportunity to learn, and that helps you practically learn that how that India's works. Another one being the taxation. The next one, taxation is further divided into indirect tax and direct tax. So you might be involved in a procedural part where you would be responsible for filing the returns as per the periodicity. Or also you can be involved in the planning. So you might be asked to research on the provisions, or you might be handle some big case laws of Supreme Court or High Court judgments, and you might be asked to summarize that, so that your senior can take help of your summary and judge its interpretation and apply that case laws judgments in their own case. That's how you can help you. The next one being the ops finance. Ops finance is basically some ground level work. Now you might be required to visit a particular, again, a warehouse or industry, and here you work at the ground level. So your main task is to collect the data, maintaining the GL level data. For example, let's say a company has a warehouse, so you might be asked to go there. You might be required to record the day-to-day shipping cost of the company, or if any company has any special cold storage facility, so how much that costs. So there can be various things. So these are just examples. The next one being product control. Now product control is one of the mostly recruited profiles in investment banking. Here you are responsible for evaluating your product. So in context of investment banking, I can say if you are selling your T-bond futures, or if you are selling your shares, or if you are helping another company to value its securities or any debt instruments, so there your role comes, and you might be learning various valuation rules. So for example, there are some investment banks who have a task of valuating their T-bond futures or the short-term commercial papers. So now here, I just got to know recently, a friend of mine is working there. Now how they have generally fixed timings of working. So like for example, the market opens up at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon for this treasury bonds and ends up at 7:30 p.m. So at that time, you have to be live on, you have to, monitor the behavior of the market, and applying some valuation rules and all policies of the company. You have to analyze the data, and at the same time uh, recommend the best price at which that security can be issued in the market. The next one being M&A, so mergers and acquisitions. So as you know that this department basically it helps other corporations to finally make a decision that whether taking over another organization or merging into another organization of might be in the same business industry or any other industry would be fruitful or not. So here, like why chartered accountant is basically preferred is because you have various various knowledge and various knowledge of various departments. Like you would be that like we are taught how what will be the tax implications of amalgamation and demergers, and at the same time you also know the accounting in DS 103 or 110, that how you would be consolidating your books of accounts. So there of course, and in this area, I would say, especially in taxation, chartered accountants do have a monopoly, and there's a great scope of working. So nowadays, M&A is also one of the fields that many students aspire to work for. The last one being the equity research. So equity research, again, it's for those who aspire to work in investment banking. So basically, now this department, now what this do is basically it helps you to raise funds in the market through the way of equity shares. So you have a trend analysis of the past company, you have profits, and you use various models to analyze that how undervalued or overvalued your share is and what yield you want to provide to your investors. That's all, and so here basically the topics of financial management comes into play a great role, and of course I would say it's intriguing to once people hear that what equity research is. And when I heard about this first time, so I was also a bit curious to know about that.
True, everybody is curious about investment banking.
So these are the most commonly recruited profiles. Now let me tell you, you might not be reading the same coming across the same terms. The nomenclature might be different. So some people use some companies use financial planning and analysis instead of business finance. So ideally the roles and responsibilities would be the same. It's only the nomenclature, and every company uses its own nomenclature. Some use business finance, like some have department of competitor intelligence. Again, it's a part of the same thing where you're analyzing your performance, you're benchmarking against your competitors and what are the best practices in the market. So similarly, like again, internal audit, some use risk assessment or risk management, and some use on internal audit or fraud detection. So the nomenclature might be different, that you will have to go by the job description. And if still you have doubts regarding what your role would be or how does your team works, you are free to ask to the interviewer at the time of your interview. That liberty is given to every person. So now, the one, let me be one very clear with you. Like you won't be getting exposure of each and everything in industrial training. You will have to choose a specific department. So nowadays there is an era of course specialization. Even the doctors itself, like someone is ENT specialist, someone is eye specialist. So you can't be going to an eye specialist to say that my my root teeth is paining. So you can't be going to them. So like similarly, same thing applies with the CAs in industry as well, or might be in the big four as well, where you will be working for a particular profile. So what suits you, it depends upon your interest, that in which field you have. If someone is having interest in financial management, he might be opting for investment banking. Someone has wants to hone his entrepreneurial skills, so he might be going for business finance. So tomorrow, if he wants to suppose like excel in audio industry, so he might be looking for industrial training in boat or JBL, like that. Do note, if you have any questions, you can note it down, and surely I will try to address in the Q&A session.
Yeah, guys, we'll be having the Q&A session, but I think one participant had a question that is CFA or any other course required along with doing CA articleship in order to get into big companies, the umbrella firms, various umbrella firms that are there, or the investment banking entities. So is CA not enough, or they have to do something else also? Is it necessary to do CFA or say FRM, etc., along with CA to get into a good industrial training entity?
So I will be taking this up. I'm actually pursuing CFA as well. My level 1 exams are due in May. I don't think it is a criteria at all in any of the company actually. I think doing CA and like the fact that we've got through IPCC, which is a big milestone, because you get exposure, you study so much in IPCC, right? Which is you get exposure of every single subject. So it is not necessary that if you're pursuing CFA or any other course, only then you're going to get industrial training. I decided on my on my CFA a little later, so it wasn't like CFA was a criteria for me to be shortlisted in any of the company. So yeah, I mean, if you're doing it, then obviously it will add value, but it is not necessary. I mean, you can get into the same profile, same company without a CFA or any other specialized degree as well.
Okay, nice. I think we had a lot of queries on investment banking. So guys, we'll take that right at the end of the video. So another question which I wanted to ask, which Bandhan readily specialized on, that specialization is the key, that you have to be the master of one. So I wanted to ask that if suppose I'm doing industrial training from an umbrella firm, a very famous umbrella firm, or you can say I'm doing it from a venture capital entity or etc. So does it add a bonus to my CV when I go for campus hiring of ICI after clearing CA or off campus? Does it give a boost to my CV or not?
Simi, I'll take it up since I have appeared for off-campus drive and on-campus drive as well. So
Sure.
while I was appearing for campus, ICI campus, yes, the industrial training exposure to provide you an added advantage. You get an edge over other normal CVs. Since in my case, I was a second attempter. I cleared my CA in second attempt. I got an edge and I got shortlisted by 10 companies, including many umbrella companies, as you mentioned. While I was applying off campus as well, companies were recruiting on the basis of my industrial exposure, because they're like, we don't have to teach them about how corporate works. We don't have to teach them about normal basic Excel skill, basic PowerPoint skill, because we have gone through that phase in during industrial training. So they do look after those candidates who have industrial exposure, who have corporate exposure, basically. So yes, that provides you an added advantage.
Okay, sounds interesting. So we won't have that bug going around our head, keys, job lagegi, nahi lagegi, lagegi, nahi lagegi. So guys, you can consider this. So hearing to you, Kusum, I further have one question. Is that, so I personally have done my articleship from a mid-sized firm. So is it important that we should start our articleship from a big 4 or a big 6 or those big 20 firms in order to get into good companies, or we can plan out our articleship in a way ki chalo 12 महीने सीख लिया, 18 महीने कुछ उस area में काम कर लिया where we want specialization? So how does it work? That is there any specific criteria to be to get selected into industry training, or it's like it's okay, we can plan out well?
So, Simi, it's like it's totally on to us. We can plan it well. While I was looking out for industrial training, not many companies had that specific criteria that you have to have articleship experience from a big 4. I myself was a mediocre firm specialist. When I was looking for industrial training, I got selected by ITC, HUL, and Microsoft, like many big firms. I had a mediocre experience. None of them asked me for whether do you have Big Four experience with that, because I managed my learning in such a way that I'm able to present myself to them properly. The only thing that big companies look for you is how you present yourself, how you're able to handle the work pressure, how you're able to handle your studies along with your industrial training. So yes, Big Four nowadays is having a little edge, but not too much. I'll say if you are from a mediocre firm, you don't have to worry much that you'll not get industrial training. You will get. It's just that few companies has that criteria now. Also, I think that's 5 to 10%. Not many companies look for that. If you're able to present yourself confidently, you will get it.
I would like to add to you, Kusum, is that guys, just remember one thing, that when there's a will, there's always a way. If you have the skill, if you have the capability to do it, nothing can stop you from joining any company or any startup or anything where you want. So just keep going, keep doing, keep applying, keep talking, and just keep doing things. If you stop, then you're out of the game. But if you keep doing, like if you take baby steps also, still you're running in the game. So don't worry कि oh मैंने छोटी firm से किया तो बड़ी कंपनियां मुझे लेंगी नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So just keep doing, it will happen. Moving ahead, I just wanted to know that how much value addition can industrial training can add to my CV if I move from a small entity or small say articleship, doing from a small firm or from a mid-sized firm. How does it help me as a person? What is the value addition to me?
Value addition, Simi, I'll say you get value addition in terms of your personality. You get to meet so many great personalities during an industrial training who you not imagine even sitting with. So when I was in Microsoft, I used to sit and have lunch with the CFOs and the finance director. They used to tell about their experiences. Like they used to even guide us. You should go for MBA post CA once you clear, or you should go like this. You should work like this. So that literally adds confidence in you, adds value in your personality. And when you're able to write in your CV that brand name does provide that edge. If you're from a small firm and you want to have big aspirations that you have, you want to work in a great MNC post qualification, that brand name do add value to your CV.
That's wonderful. I mean, talking to a CFO and finance director telling you, oh, you can go for an MBA and etc. actually helps the budding minds move to another direction. I think good consulting is something very much required to pave through the way faster.
Yes.
So another question which I was thinking about was that a question was posted on the chat as well, that what is the time limit before which we can apply for industrial training? So for example, I have to start industrial training 18 months post my prior to my attempt. So when should I start hunting for stuff? What is the time that I should invest? And will my attempt be postponed if I venture into industrial training?
Thank you, Simi. I will be addressing this. It is, first of all, it is absolutely crucial to begin your hunt for industrial training at least 3 to 4 months before you actually want to join. Some of us may have this misconception, that if my CV is ready, or, that I know which specific department or company I want to go in, and like I'm done with my research part, like I did, like I can wait to apply at my own leisure and like start or possibly wait for the company to launch their application process, but the truth is that there is so much competition out there. I personally sent out emails to at least 60 different people, and additionally, moreover, I connected with so many people, after which, I am here because I did all of that. It is very important to be aware that, you may face a lot of rejection along the way, but it is the hope to, that someday you will get into the company you've dreamed of that will, keep you going. And I started looking for IT in around, I think, mid-August. And during that time, I had 14 months in my hand. And I think this 18-month thing, I wasn't really aware of the 18-month thing because it was very new during that time. And I didn't get my very first call until the end of September. It was very disheartening, but I kept going. That is very important. This brings me to this another point that if you don't have plenty of time in your hand, to search for industrial training, then there is a possibility that you may have to postpone your final attempt by 6 months. Like I had to postpone my attempts because I had only 14 months in my hand. And, it took me at least, it takes 3 to 4 months to get in IT, like to get into the company after all the procedures. And also, the fact that a lot of companies only look for 18-month industrial trainees because, we all have the same experience more or less. So like, why won't they choose someone who has more time in their hands than the ones who don't? So I got rejected a lot of times because of the fact that I didn't have a lot, like 18 months in my hand. So because of which I postponed my attempt, which helped me. Like now I joined Craftsman Industries for 15 months. It was because I postponed my attempt. So yeah, I think you need to have like plenty of time and like just keep going, I guess. That is what I'll tell you.
So Apurva, I understand one thing that you probably need to start like 6 months prior. So I think it will help with recruiting also, selection also, and probably deciding also. So Apurva, can you help me understand one thing, that how do I decide which area would be the best for me, which company would be the best for me? This always is a question as a student, ki how will I figure that out?
I think a lot of research is involved in that. I was interested in finance. Like I always knew I was interested in finance. So I started researching and like, finding industrial trainees, training opportunities in that particular field. But like, again, the same thing comes in, because you need to have plenty of time in your hands. Like I am in taxation now. I'm working in taxation and not finance, If I had started say 6 months prior, I would have been able to get into finance field, the field I desired. Like again, like even if you're getting a finance opportunity and you get like offer letter for taxation, you can't let go of the taxation offer letter, because you don't have enough time in your hands. So I'll again have to postpone my attempt 6 months, and I didn't want to do that. So I ended up going into taxation, and I'm glad that I did, because the exposure is amazing. It doesn't matter which field you go into. Like there's a possibility you may not get into the field you want to, but like I think after becoming a CA, you will have like an ocean of opportunity waiting out there. And like sometimes, it also happens that you may talk to the HR about, switching your department in between. So maybe, sometimes they agree, maybe do 6 months over a year. And then, if we think that you have learned enough, or like we need, if opening comes up into another department, they are sometimes willing to shift you over there. So I think being open and communicating what you really want is very important. So yeah, I mean, I guess know what you want, and yeah, at the same time, keep applying and like don't stop. Even if you think that you may not have a chance, I think it's very important to keep applying and like reaching out to people to know that what exactly do we learn in that particular department. Does that answer the question?
Sure. I think Kusum, there's a question for you. The participant wants to know that how to enter into a startup for industrial training. So I would like to tell you all the participants that Kusum has done her industrial training from Microsoft, and presently she's working in a startup. So Kusum, can you please throw light on that? I think you'll be the best person for this.
How to enter startup as an industrial training?
Into a startup for industrial training.
So while I was working in Flipkart, you can consider Flipkart also as a startup only. Not really, but yes, it is a startup. So most of the startup, they post vacancies over LinkedIn and Naukri.com. So while I was in Flipkart, many of the trainees over there, they used to tell me that we applied through Naukri.com and LinkedIn. And yeah, they got selected through their resume selection. Then screening used to happen. They used to be asked basic questions pertaining to our Indies and normal CA stuff. And they used to take 1 month basically for recruiting and deciding whether to go with a candidate or not. So if you want to look for industrial training in a startup, you probably have to scroll through LinkedIn and Naukri.com.
One more I would like to add, that startups are very budding. So if you want to enter into any startup, probably you should start connecting to more and more people, talk to people, network, so that when you know what people are doing and where they want to venture, it helps you to grab that opportunity faster. And if you know a person who's there in like a startup, you can always tell them that please refer me. it will probably help you all. So keep that in mind. And the other thing I would like to continue on Kusum's point, that what are the various platforms where we can go and apply for industrial training, hunt out for opportunities, because now there are plenty. So where should I go and hunt for these opportunities? Can you all please take up? Anybody?
Yeah, I'll take it up. Bandhana, are you on mute? So, Simi, I'll take it up. So normally what happens is LinkedIn, Naukri.com, as I was mentioning, LinkedIn, Naukri.com, and your Indeed and Shine.com. Normally these pages provide you the opportunity to apply for industrial training. Also, we have to scroll through the company's website careers as well, because nowadays many of the companies are posting vacancies over there as well. Be sure of the vacancy that you're applying to. Start searching 6 months before your beginning of the commencement of the period you are eligible for the industrial training. Be sure of the profile that you're applying. Like you mentioned, startup. Normally, what happens is, since I am also in startup, I'm in business finance team. We used to have work pertaining to everything. We have to do anything, from printing, from everything. So be very sure of what profile you want to go in a startup. And taking forward your query of what are the other platforms that we can have, company's website is the best platform, because normally what many aspirants ask me, do the CVs get selected, or if we apply through company's website? Yes, companies do take it very seriously if they post their vacancies on their careers website. Then companies do take it very seriously if you're applying through LinkedIn. They will check your LinkedIn profile before reaching out to you as a candidate. So these are the platforms that will surely help you looking out for industry training.
I
would like to. Okay,
Please.
Purva, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so I actually would like to add, we are very fortunate that everything we may possibly need, we have at the tips of our fingers, just one click away. And there are so many platforms, like Kusum mentioned, LinkedIn, Naukri.com, and like a lot of them. The one I would like to mention is Quora. I feel like Quora is very underrated. I personally began my industrial training journey began through Quora. Like when I was doing my research part, I came across this answer, which was so insightful, but at the same time, I had so many doubts. And I was kind of contemplating if I should send a direct message on Quora, because a lot of times, if someone sent me a message, I wouldn't open it. So like I was skeptical if that person would even look at the message. It was 2 a.m. and I actually sent the message. And 2 days later, I got the reply. And that is how it began for me. So I think like it is very important, to just go ahead and like connect with as many people as you want and like ask them the doubts, because people are always ready to help, if only you take up that first step to ask them the question. So yeah, I mean, don't be scared. And like finally I decided, if I hadn't sent the message there, like my industrial training journey would have gone a different way, definitely. So yeah, just take that chance and like send in the message. But then would you like to add?
Sure. One question I have very frequently, in fact, faced on LinkedIn is that how we can get HR email IDs of different companies. Now, just one thing, like don't rely. That's very traditional way to find out vacancies or apply for there. Now, what if you have got an HR ID and that HR has moved on from that company to another company? So you don't know that. So that's a very traditional way. Nowadays, there are many other ways. So nowadays, instead of asking for an HR ID, you should ask for a referral. So many companies have employee referral programs, and many employees are in fact willing to refer suitable candidates, because they also get bonus for that. So you should ask for a referral. And also getting HR ID won't help. Why? Because there are nowadays HR are segregated as per various profiles. So one HR might be hiring for let's say financial reporting team, another HR might be hiring people only for the taxation team. Now how you would know that guy is hiring for which profile? So instead of that, nowadays companies have employee referral programs, and on which a unique job ID is allotted to each and every job. So you can search up for a job vacancy on a career portal if that career portal is made applicable, I mean available for that company. You search for a vacancy in a career portal, you and mention their job ID to that person to whom you want to from whom you want to get a referral. So basis that job ID, that referral will automatically be assigned to a recruiter who is responsible for recruiting people, and that will help you better. That will help you better to reach hit the door.
Can you all please help me understand that nowadays ICAI is also promoting industrial training a lot. And I've heard that ICAI actually helps the aspirants get into budding company. I mean, the companies who want to take the budding chartered accountants. So can you please throw light on this aspect as well? That how do I apply through the ICAI branches?
Yeah, like I will take up this. Like
Sure.
some branches are organizing their campus placement for industrial training. So like in my time, like Gurgaon branch has conducted a campus placement for industrial trainings. And so like we have to contact with branches like who will be providing this opportunities to us. And also for like Bandhan explained that like we have to take a HR mail IDs. Like there is a specific one website rocketreach.com.co in which you have to like only take the LinkedIn URL code, mention the like particular person of LinkedIn URL code. You have to put that in this link. You will get their mail ID and as well as number. If they have entered in any specific Google or any LinkedIn, you will get it there.
Okay. And how do I apply to these ICAI branches? Does ICAI provide any link through which I can do this?
Yeah, like at the time of organizing the campus, they have provided on a social websites on like LinkedIn or like in WhatsApp group. So like you are the near the like if any candidate are near the Delhi, you contact with their Delhi branches of ICI. If any campus placement happen to for industrial training or not.
Okay. Insightful, Abhishek. Moving on to the next, as HR is a very important person to help you get
Yeah.
recruited. How do I probably ensure that once I've been interviewed in a company, I am definitely getting selected or not selected so that I can move on? So how do I, keep on, should I do follow-up mails to HR or not? Can you please guide on that part?
Yeah, like after like a interview or a send your CV, you can take a follow up within a week or within a 10 days. Like you do a cold email to them. So surely HR will respond to that. You can try one time, two times. Surely in my case also, like I have tried to a particular company, and after that, after selection, after given my interview, I give a follow-up mail to within a week or within a 10 days, she or she will reply that mail.
Okay. So guys, I would like to share this with you all. This basically has been my personal experience. While I was applying for a job for CA, I applied to a company where I got I got interviewed for, but the HR wasn't responding at all. And it was becoming very difficult for me to decide कि मैं जाऊं कि नहीं जाऊं, because it was a company where I wanted to enter. So I delayed the follow-up mail by like 1 week, which probably I shouldn't have. I learned from other people, and they said that, okay, you can definitely follow up within 1 or 2 days and keep doing that, because see, they have a lot of candidates to select, but we have our one dream company where we want to enter. So if you want something, go crazy behind it and just be sure कि ये मेरा है तो मेरा ही होगा. So I think it's very important that you keep following up, call to the HR, tell him that क्या हुआ भैया, क्यों नहीं select कर रहे हो, या क्या हुआ दीदी, please select कर लो. So keep doing that. Moving ahead, I just wanted to know that suppose I'm applying at various entities, various companies I'm applying at. So how I'm getting multiple offer letters, also getting selected everywhere. So how do I take a decision on which offer letter to be selected and which to be rejected? Hello? Apurva, are you there? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Simi, I
Yeah.
think Apurva is on mute.
Okay. Avijit, can you go ahead on this till I unmute
Yeah.
Apurva?
Yeah, I can go ahead on this.
Sure.
So the problem of getting multiple offer letters is a problem of plenty. Usually people don't face this problem. People like us get one offer letter and we are really happy about that. But in case you get multiple offer letters, so first thing will be that you can screen which profile you want to apply in. Suppose you get an offer letter from an investment banking company or for a strategy department. And if you're more inclined towards investment banking, then sure, go ahead with it. Another consideration will be talking to the present industrial trainees in those departments on LinkedIn. That is a very powerful tool. And understanding about the work environment. I usually used to ask industrial trainees about the work environment, the manager, because when you are working there prior to 12 months of your attempt, you need to make sure that you will get time to study as well. So that is another important consideration in case you're having the chance of getting multiple offer letters. And then surely once considering all of these things, you can go ahead with the company you want to work in.
That's nice. I mean, but Avijit, I would like to say that multiple offer letters is what we should aim at, because probably we get a good hand over it. So in order to get multiple offer letters, I would really suggest that apply to many companies. Keep doing that. It helps because decision making becomes better. Moving ahead, I just wanted to know that आर्टिकलशिप हमें मिलता ही कितना है, मतलब इट्स लाइक थोड़ा सा तो मिलता है, उसमें हम कैसे तो अपनी जिंदगी काट लेते हैं, बट इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रेनिंग में बहुत सारा मिलता है. सो शुड आवर डिसीजन टुवर्ड्स इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रेनिंग बी लाइक कि पैसा मिल रहा है तो घुस जाओ, or it should be a planned stuff? Like, I personally have not done industrial training. I have completed my 3 years with articleship only because I wanted to learn various aspects of the chartered accountancy area only. And I was never attracted towards the money aspect. So I would like to hear from you all that what should be the decision based on?
So I believe that I think learning should be your priority. So many times, like, yes, we got lured by the stipend offered by the companies, because on an average, an article student gets 2,000 to 3,000 a month, and I think which is very low for, in fact, bearing expenses for your studies as well nowadays. In fact, lecture, a minimal amount for online classes, 7,000, 8,000. So yes, we get lured, and apart from that, like your family members would also be telling you that this companies are giving you more, so why don't you join that company? But I would say that during articleship time, I think this is one of the most beautiful times. So instead of, and this will not come again. So just focus on like what roles you would have and what learnings you would get, instead of going for the money. Basically, because uh, after becoming a chartered accountant, who knows that you might be suppose you are earning 10K right now in an industrial training. Who knows that after becoming a chartered accountant, you might be earning doubles or triples of that. And in fact, in a metro city like Delhi or Mumbai, the minimum CTC generally on an average is 6 lakhs. So who knows, you might be earning 1 lakh. Who knows that? It
But
depends
then
upon your
gone are
luck.
those days where the CTC is
So
minimum 6, we earn minimum 8. It's not 6 now.
no, I'm talking about the industry norm on an average, not the big fours and all. But yes, you can get
Industry,
8, you can get 10 as well. No
yeah.
doubt. But can give you my example. Like I applied for several companies and got selected in two of them. So one was offering around 50K per month. Now another was offering around 30K. So my father told me that why don't you join the one which is giving you 50K? So, but that profile doesn't suit in my cup of tea. So e-commerce seemed more interesting to me, more intriguing to me. I wanted to learn more about that. So I finally, ended up in that. So I didn't go for money. I went for, the learning the brand. I think learning will be the one which will be remain with you over the lifetime. In fact, more than brand as well, because that learning will help you. Surely that will help you in any manner in the future. But
True.
money is the thing that's money is like कहते हैं वही हाथ की मैल है कब आए कब जाए क्या पता.
That's good. Okay, so that was very insightful. So guys, please put your focus more on learning and not money in your early days, because so I've heard this. There's this aspect called as the rule of 10,000 hours. That once you're something into for like say 10,000 hours, you probably become a master of it. No, I wouldn't say a master of it, but probably you'll be very good at it. You'll have an edge over it. So initial years should be focused only on learning and not money, because if you have the word to speak, money will follow. So definitely do keep a watch on that. Moving ahead on the procedural aspects of industrial training, like how to apply, ICI के through कैसे करना, principal से कैसे बात करना, etc. I would like Abhishek to chip in because he was talking about the Gurgaon branch also. So Abhishek, can you please help us identify that how does ICAI portal helps in facilitating the various aspects of applying into industrial training?
Yeah, like now it's time for SSP portal. Like all the things are done digitally. Not we have to submit any form to particular branches or anything. So like for the taking permission of our principal, like I have to recommend, like you have to take give a notice to our principal before 3 months of industrial joining of industrial training. So like many other principals are not allowed to go for industrial training. So like I have to recommend it, give a 3 months notice before the joining of your industrial training. Like sir, I want to go for industrial training, so I will be leaving within the 3 months or 4 months when we will get any industrial. So also for like procedural aspects, like we have to fill up form 109 for termination of our articleship, and it have to be filled within 30 days after our termination. And for a joining of our industrial training, we have to get a fill form 104, and in which we have to give our supporting documents like offer letter from industrial organization, and also for form 109 we have to take a NOC from our principal, like this is a no objection certificate from any principal, like he have not any problem while transferring termination of their articleship. Only these are the two main formalities, like form 109 and form 104.
Okay.
I would like to add that, after joining the industrial training, please make sure that you're completing it all within 30 days. Otherwise, there's a late fee. I mean, I paid the late fee, so yeah, don't commit the mistake. So yeah, within 30 days, all of it should be completed.
Yes, please keep a check of it, guys. And one thing I wanted to ask, which is a participant's question, is that so while we'll be applying for the interviews for industrial training, how do we take the leave from the principal? How do we tell them, persuade them that please give us the leave for the interview aspect, because now everything is opening up? Can anybody guide on this, please?
I will take it up, Simi.
Sure.
How to ask the principal for the leave? So in my case, I directly told my principal that I want to apply for industrial training. Initially, she resisted. Like, why do you want to apply? You should complete your 3 years articleship in a mediocre firm or firm only, like where you are in your comfort zone. Why are you just moving out? So I told them that I have to go for industrial training since I love to have a new challenging environment wherein I grow myself in terms of professionalism and corporate environment. Just convince your principal that this is something you are yearning for. This is something you want to have in your future. Corporate experience something will add on in my value and add on in my CV. So it's just convincing your principal, that's it.
True. So we have another participant's question is that there are too many fields in industrial training. How do we decide that which field should we catch upon? So Saloni, before I pass this question to the panelists, I would like to add myself to it that we are a very lucky generation. We've got plethora of opportunities and we've got plethora of means to tap on those opportunities. Now, for us, the problem is that how do we do that? So, I mean, you need to be very strong on your mind. You need to be very strong on yourself that nahi karna hai, to yehi karna hai. For that particularly, you'll have to spend some time with yourself. You need to probably just zone out from all the kind of media, all the kind of gadgets from everybody for like 10 to 15 minutes a day. Identify what you want from life, and then probably selection will be more safer and happier for you. So I would like to pass on the question to the panelists also. Please throw light on it, because we have just 5 minutes. After that, probably we'll open up the discussion to the participants to directly ask to you.
I would like to address this. I think, like some of us really know which field we want to go into after becoming chartered accountants, or like which field interests us the most. I think if the case is that, then I think pursue industrial training in that particular field. But where we don't know which field we would like to choose, because industrial training, once you get into that field, you can't get out. Like you can talk to the HR that if they allow the transfer, but like a lot of times they don't allow the transfer. They want you to continue in that particular field that you chose, that you interviewed for. So I think research a lot, because like Simi said, so many opportunities. Like you can, like, there is everything available on the internet. You can explore Quora, or like connect with existing industrial trainees or people who have done industrial training, and like maybe they can guide you ki taxation mein aisa hota hai, and finance mein ye batayenge, and like you can decide ki which exposure you want to get. I think that is how you know which field you want to choose.
Okay. Actually, we have a question which says that so people are asking that how do we prepare for the industrial training interview? What are we expected to know?
So most of it is, I think, articleship experience. But like generally they ask you about yourself and like the articleship experience. Like there are too many criteria. It would depend on the company, but if you're strong on what you have done during the articleship, and I think it is not going to be very hard, because the interviews aren't as challenging as you may think it is.
So, Simi, it also depends on the profile that you're applying for. Say, for example, if it's the audit profile, they'll probably ask you the observations and the clientele that you have handled in your articleship experience. If you are looking in taxation profile, they'll ask you the basics like income tax or ITT stuff. So, probably it's a differentiation point where the profile that you're applying for. And then basic stuff like your Indies and Caro stuff they can ask. Probably they'll check you more on what you have done in your articleship training.
Okay. And we have a question which is very specific to investment banking. So there's Aryan who's asking that how's the investment banking field? I mean, is anybody can throw a light on that?
I actually wanted to get into investment banking as well, but like due to the time shortage, I never got the opportunity. But I think it is an excellent field if you want to, like, you're inclined towards finance. And like, I mean, just one heads up is that the procedure is kind of long. So like, please have plenty of time on your hands. Like, I couldn't get to the interview part because, after the call, they kind of make you wait a little bit more, 1.5 months or something. And like, I didn't have as much time. So I think if you have enough time, then you can try. And like, yeah, and also, just don't apply for investment banking, even though you know that is what you want to go into. Have backup options.
True, that is very important. We have a question which says that what skills should we brush upon during our articleship phase so that we perform really well during our industrial training, and which goes like a heads up for us to pursue it.
So, Simi, I'll take it up. Talking about the skills, it's your interpersonal skill that you have to brush up, because during your industrial training, you have to communicate with many of the people. Like you may have to communicate with leaders as well. You might be sitting with them. You have to undertake work under them. So it's the interpersonal skills that you have to brush up. Apart from interpersonal skills, in technical skills, I'll say Excel and PowerPoint are the main things. Normally, nowadays, many of the companies are also asking for SQL and Tableau. Basic knowledge of that will provide you an added advantage.
Okay, now this is a very interesting question which has been asked. So a person who's done industrial training versus a person who's done articleship from Big Four, who will be given priority or who will be considered first for a job?
So, yeah, please.
Should I take it up?
Yeah, please, Abhijit. Continue.
Yeah, so there is no right or wrong answer in this. Either you're from a big four firm or you're from industrial training, your skill sets are very different. So it also depends on the profile you're applying for. Now, if you have done your industrial training from corporate strategy, like Abhishek did, and you're applying for a role which is in the strategy department, so obviously he will be considered more because he is having 18 months experience in that. But if you're applying for audit role, then big four articleship will be preferred. So it will depend on the profile, and it also depends on the person, how he is communicating himself in the interview, the knowledge he is portraying, etc., etc.
True, that is very important. And if suppose you're doing your industrial training, as rightly Kusum said, so she's been into Microsoft and now she's into a startup, which is a fintech startup. So she's moving in the same direction. So if you want to move in the same direction, particularly, you will be considered better and first prior to the person who's in Big Four, who's not doing the similar area. So I think moving in the same direction helps. We'll move ahead. And people wanted to know, so this is a repeat question which is being asked, that if suppose I'm into my articleship, how many months prior should I start working on the industrial training jobs and industrial training applications, interviews, etc.? Because as Apurva rightly said, that it takes a lot of time and then probably postponing an attempt is a pain.
I think the answer, there is no right or wrong answer again. I think 6 months, like please have at least 6 months, because to do the research and like then reach out to people and like start applying, and then the application being processed, then you get a call. And even after you get a call, the whole interview process, sometimes there are 3 or 4 rounds, which kind of takes a lot of time. So like if you want to do 18 months and you don't want to postpone your attempts, please have at least 6 months on your hands. And also, you have to give your notice to the principal, to your principal as well. And like, kabhi time nikal jata, and like, you need to be sure that you're getting industrial training. Otherwise, you will give the notice, you'll be serving the notice period. And what if you don't have the industrial training? So at least have 6 months on your hands.
Okay. And there's one more question which says that how many months are we expected to serve post CA final exams, and does the 18 months tenure cover the tenure post CA final exams as well?
So I mean, like I am doing for 15 months. So in that, my study leaves are included. So the 3 months study leave and 12 months working. And it isn't something like where I am working, they kind of prioritize our attempt first. So I will not be asked to shift my attempt or something, just because some work has come up. But like they accommodate the study leaves, and like it depends on the contract. If you have contracted for like 18 months, it doesn't matter when your attempt is. You will have to serve the 18 months. Jab 18 months complete ho jayenge, your tenure will be over.
Okay. So my understanding is that basically 18 months will include post and prior CA final both, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, any other questions which you all want to ask to the panelists? Please go ahead. Raise your hands, I'll unmute you and you can ask them directly. Bhavesh is raising his hand. Yes, Bhavesh, we would be very much interested to hear from you. Okay, there are 2 people. Just give me a second. I'll unmute you all. Smith is also there. Okay, Bhavesh, please go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you're definitely audible.
Yeah,
please go ahead.
Like I wanted to know, with the change in tenure of your industrial training from 12 to 18 months, do we get extra leaves like from 3 to 4 months, or is it same like it used to be like 2-3 months?
Would anyone else like to take up this question?
Yeah, so I will take it up. Bhavesh, so even I believe that there will be a change in the leave pattern with increase in tenure, but it is not. Once you are doing industrial training, you'll be getting a 3 months standard leave.
Okay. And
okay.
Please.
Add that, you will have to actually talk to the HR about the leaves, because 3 months is like, it is not a compulsion that you're going to get 3 months. There are companies who also offer you just 2 months. So like, please have a conversation with the HR first, before assuming anything.
Okay, thanks. And another question as well, like one should target for a like dream company or a profile. So like when for an articleship, we generally go for a big four or a role. So like it's it same for the industrial training as well, or like something different?
So Bhavish, I'll take it up. Look for the profile instead of the dream company, because that profile is something gonna help you in your when you clear your CA. Like say for example, if you want to work in finance profile, target the finance profile. If you are getting opportunity in finance, that's good. Like Apurva mentioned, she was targeting finance, but she got taxation. Target for the profile that you want to go in. If you're not getting the opportunity, then you can look for the other profile. But when you compare the dream company or the profile, I'll say for the profile, depending on the learning that you'll get and depending on the profile you want to go in post qualification.
I hope Bhavesh, you're good. Jeel, can you go ahead? Hello? Jeel, are you there? Okay, till the time Jeel comes back, can we have another one? Ekta,
Hello.
please.
Yeah, so basically, I wanted to understand about the work culture. Like, in Big Four or in the top 20 companies, I mean, in the firms, they tell us while joining that you'll have to work for, say, a particular number of hours. But then when it's about due dates and stuff, they don't look at the hours. They don't look at if it's a weekend or stuff. We have to work no matter what. So is it the same thing when it comes to industrial training, or the work culture there is very different?
Ekta, I will answer your question. You like once you enter industry, you will understand how different and amazing it is. I think like I have the independency to work at my own leisure, and like there isn't in articleship firm, I think we have the time in and time out thing that goes on. Even if we have the work, we kind of have to like sit in the office or be online. But I think in the company it's very different. It would depend on your work. If you're done with your work, then it is up to you. You like it. It's good. There is no compulsion on the particular hours you have to give in. It's more about the work that you do. It revolves around the work. And like if you're good at it and like you complete it fast, then you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, to add on to Apurva's answer, I believe in industrial training, the work is more output based. If you're adding some value or providing your output, then the number of hours will not matter. Like even Bandhan said, we don't need to fill in timesheets in industrial training. It all depends on our output.
Okay. I hope Ekta, you're good with it. Shubh, can you go ahead?
Yeah. So basically, I just wanted to ask. I'm doing an articleship in a mid-sized firm right now, and I'm interested in investment banking, private equity, portfolio management. So, what's the chances of an article from a mid-sized firm to join big firms such as JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, in comparison to an article from a Big Four or a Big 10? So how will the HR consider me for an interview round? So let's just say there are 3 vacancies. So our mid-size article is the competition is the vacancy preferred to Big Four articles much more than a mid-size article, or how is it?
So Shubh, I'll take your query. So it's not the case that mid-size firm will not get the opportunity and will not get a chance to appear for the interview. It's just that I said it earlier. It's just the way you present yourself. It's just the basic knowledge that you carry with yourself that you're able to convey to the HR or the particular team or particular profile that you're targeting. Say, for example, if you are from a mediocre firm and you carry the knowledge of investment banking more than the person who is from a big four firm, and he doesn't have that basic knowledge of equity, you will obviously get chance. You'll obviously get selected in that case. And talking about the first round of interview itself, you just have to convey that you have basic knowledge of equity, and that's it. I will say it's nothing matter that you are from a mid-sized firm or from a big four firm. That doesn't matter at all.
I would also like to add that, in investment banking, they have online tests based on which they shortlist. Like your CV will go in, and if you have your experience is what would matter, I think, according to me. And then they have the online test. So if you are able to get through the online test, then you are going to get the interview. So don't think that, firm matters, CA firms matter. I mean, I have seen people get in, even the small, even the ones who have done the articleship from small firms, they do get in. Like if you get through the online test as well.
Okay. And also, Shubh, you can connect with the people, like with the industrial trainees, earlier industrial trainees who have been into investment banking, like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley you were mentioning. You can contact them and ask what's the procedure and where they had done their articleship, what basic experience did the investment banking firms demand from them.
Okay. I think Shubh, you're good. We move ahead. Jeel, can you take up?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you everyone, first of all, for this session and all the guidance that you all gave us. My question was, is relocating a good option in the third year of articleship for industrial training? As all cities do not provide the industrial training options, only the HO cities of Mumbai or Bangalore would have these industrial training companies. So is relocating a good option where you have much time to also to study, also you have to devote? And as someone mentioned that there are work from home offered by certain companies, which are those companies, if at all you could throw light upon?
I wonder, is anyone of the panelists, have they relocated for the industrial training? Okay, so I think, a lot of companies still, they are providing the work from home opportunity. Like umbrella firms like Aditya Birla, for example, they have it depends on your work, it isn't a compulsion. I think all the companies, they're moving to the work from home opportunity option. They like it better. And I have to go to office 2 days and like the rest is work from home. But still, I think you would have to relocate, right? I think it is always a good option to relocate. In Mumbai, for example, you have RBG, which gives preference to your attempt. And if you connect with anyone, I think they will tell you that relocating is not really a very big deal as one may think. For example, for me, I have lived in Mumbai, so I didn't have to relocate, but I know several people who have, and they didn't face any problem in their studies. They have office timings, and the rest of the time they devote to their studies. And there are hostels and PGs, and plus specific CA places designated for CA students that will provide you accommodations. And I don't think you'll face any problem. But you can speak with the HR, if they are ready to provide you work from home opportunity, then I think it is very good.
Okay, yes.
One more thing I can just add up on this is many companies, in order to help you relocate, so they provide you their own accommodations for first 15 to 20 days, so that in that time, which is I think enough time, so you can find up your own any other PG in that time. So that accommodation is provided, and apart from that, companies also in fact do book your flights and also do make some arrangements. So in fact, you can also connect up with the existing interns who are working there, so they can also help you out for finding an accommodation near the corporate office, which will also save your time. And apart from that, so it also depends upon profile. So I was in finance profile, so I have just worked with the data, I have to just work with the P&L and all. So there is no need to visit the office as such. So I did my entire internship from work from home. And so depends upon profile. Now if you are in some such kind of profile, let's say internal audit, and you are required to visit a warehouse, then that might be a case that you need to relocate for that. So depends upon that, whether it's a groundwork or it's more kind of an not a groundwork, it's not normal computer work. So depends upon your profile as well. So also, now after in fact COVID, many people, many managers are now in fact cooperative in this. So I would like in fact give you an example, like be it like let alone the relocation. In fact, the nearest office of my company was in Gurgaon, so I had to get my laptop replaced, and he didn't even ask me to go to the nearest Invac. It's only 15 kilometers, but still I didn't go because of the COVID era, and I got everything delivered at my home. So companies are taking into consideration all the things that can make you comfortable. So you can clarify these things from the HR itself.
Okay, yes, understood. Thank you.
Sounds good. Dheeraj, I think you can go ahead.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Dheeraj, you're audible. Go ahead.
Thank you everyone for conducting this session. Continuing to the Shubh's question, I wanted to ask whether any certifications, specific certification courses one can do to add on to his CV to get an edge over others.
Dheeraj, there are no add-on certification courses that you need to have. The basic thing that you have to have is very clear understanding of what you have done in your articleship experience. As long as you're able to communicate that what you have done in your articleship experience, you're good enough. Certification courses won't add much. Only certification courses, even if you want to do that's basic PowerPoint and Excel, that also you'll get through your articleship experience. They won't provide you an edge basically. Basic information and basic knowledge is more than it.
Okay, thank you so much.
We have Priyanka in line. Priyanka, please go ahead.
Hi. I actually wanted to ask, as Apurva mentioned, the industrial training recruitment process usually takes 2 to 3 months time. So if I plan on doing a 18-month industrial training and my attempt is in November 23, so the right time would be start searching in May. So if I do get a placement by June and July, I still have to complete my 18 months of articleship, and also I work in one of the big four. So we have to give a notice period of 3 months. So there is a gap of 3 months when you get selected and when you'll actually start working in the industry. So will the industry accommodate this 3-month period, or do they have a requirement as to you have to join on a like a priority basis? Like,
I think I can answer this since I was also from a big four. So since your attempt is in November 23, right? My attempt is in November 22. And I started looking for industrial training from the month of June or July. And I eventually got in December. But in case you get in by September or August, you need to make sure that after 1 month of searching for industrial training and making sure that you're really serious about it, you can send one email to your manager, to your principal, and also marking your HR manager that you're looking for industrial training, and you're just intimating this to them. And once you get selected and get the offer letter, make sure on that day that you send one email regarding your 1 month notice period. Also, if you're having a very good relation with your manager, you need not serve 1 month notice period. I did not serve 1 month notice period. I only served a notice period of 16 days.
oh,
So you need to factor all these things before industrial training.
okay. Thank you.
I think Akshay, you can move now. Go ahead.
Hello. Hi,
Yes,
everyone.
you're visible. You're audible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Actually, I was having doubt regarding the interview procedure. Like, I have not started coaching for every subject, or like I've started only for 2-3 subjects. So I'm not familiar with FR or India's particularly, and costing as well. So if I go for that profile, then I'm not familiar with these subjects or the basic, India's rules, because I've studied AS. So will that be challenging in the interview procedure?
Akshay, usually in the interview procedure, they will not ask you in detail regarding any of your subjects. They might ask you what is your favorite subject, then you can select it. Suppose you say FR. So they will ask you that you can answer, you can explain as any one of the NDSs. So even if you've not done FR, you can just watch a video on YouTube regarding any one of the NDSs and answer that. And studying subjects before your interview or your industrial training will not really matter in your industrial training. So you should not factor that in.
Okay, thank you. Also, I was having one more question. Like these companies, investment banking companies, JP Morgan, and these three four big companies, and the other side are these HUL and other MNCs. So how to decide uh, to go for either of one, because it is very one side there is brand, there is big brand. These are like very much big brands, and we will have edge if we go for these four companies. We will have edge for for further career, like for 10-20 years we'll have this brand name on our profile that we have done industrial training from these, and we will have an edge over these MNCs. So will it really matter if I go for HUL over JP Morgan or JP Morgan over HUL? Is it a big thing?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so it's as Kusum mentioned, it's not about the brand name, it's more about the profile you want to work in. You need to make sure what do you want to work in. You want to work in an investment banking firm or you want to work in FMCG. So the simplest process for this is go on LinkedIn, search for industrial trainees in both profiles, communicate with them, ask them what is their day-to-day functions. You can have a call with them, you can understand their work, and then you can make a selection.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for your tips.
I think Ekta is desirous to ask. So, Ekta, please go ahead.
Yeah, so one last thing that I wanted to ask is that currently I am doing my articleship in direct taxation, and more of the work that I do relates to litigation, and that is something I enjoy. That's not something I feel is boring, but at the same time, I'm also attracted towards trying out industrial training because so many of my friends are going for industrial training. So I feel it's going to be a new experience and I don't want to miss that chance. So I'm very confused if I should leave something that I'm enjoying, and what if I enter the industrial training and I won't enjoy it there? Then there's no coming back. So, like, can you help me decide?
So, actually, you can look out for industrial training in direct taxation profiles only. There are many companies that offer you industrial training in this profile. As long as you're getting the stuff that you're enjoying currently, industrial training will be good for you. And even if you don't get the profile that you are looking for, industrial training won't turn out be a bad experience for you, because not only the profile, there are other things that you'll enjoy during your industrial. Nothing will be turning out boring for you. You'll meet new people, you'll network out more, you'll learn something new. So try for getting in direct taxation profile. There's nothing like you won't get that. If you don't get that, then look out for the profile that you want to get post direct taxation, like other than direct taxation.
So, if I'm getting a profile, if as direct taxation, industrial training in direct taxation, so what different would I do than what I'm doing in my articleship?
That depends on the JD. So you have to ask basically the recruiter that what will be your work profile, what you will be doing in that. So many of the companies, like even Microsoft, the other intern that was in Microsoft, they used to have litigation stuff also. Then they used to plan help in audits as well. So it depends on the JD you're looking for.
Okay, thank you so much.
Guys, there are any other questions that you would like to ask? Anything else, guys? I think we are running too much out of time. So to end it, I just wanted to tell you all that this is something that I believe a lot, that keep believing on what you do. And there's this quote which I follow, which I would like to tell you all, that ask whatever you want. So you ask, it will be given unto you. You seek, that is you find, and it will find. I mean, if you seek something, if you find something, if you go for something, you'll actually unwind it very fast, and then knock and it shall be opened unto you. Go talk to people, ask them, go and network. It will actually open various doors for you. And the other thing is belief, and it shall always be yours. Over the years, throughout the CA journey, prior also, today also, one thing that is constant is belief. So whatever you believe, it will definitely be yours. So just don't worry, as Ekta rightly said, that my friend is doing, I'm getting confused. So this happens because as I said, that we have plethora of opportunities which are open to us. So we do get confused on which to tap on. But one thing is very important: be constant, don't lose hope, and keep trying. So I would request each of the panelists to come up and speak one thing on their experience which they had, post which we'll culminate the session.
So I'll begin it. As you said, Simi, it's very important for us to keep applying to go ahead. While I was looking for industrial training, I applied anywhere that I could. Well, there were chances that even if I didn't get selected, I used to apply like anything. Just keep applying. The experience that you have during your industrial tenure is gonna remain with you. This 1 year or 18 months will be very close to your heart because you'll meet many new people. There will not be much responsibility on you. There will be responsibility, but not that much. You will be reporting to the people. You will be having some delegated stuff to handle. Enjoy this period, study hard during this period, and meet and communicate with as many people as you want to. And even if it is a cup of coffee or going on coffee or something, try to learn something from the experience. Try to learn what they want to communicate to you and enjoy this period a lot. You will not regret having this period.
Amazing, Kusum. Avijit, can you go next?
Yeah, so this is not related to the industrial training experience as of now, but before that. So I only used to use LinkedIn for applying for industrial training, and as you all know, that many MNCs send out vacancies for industrial trainees on LinkedIn, and there are usually 200 to 50 applicants for 1 or 2 positions over there. So similarly, I'd applied for one of them, and 2 weeks had gone by and I was not shortlisted. And I was knowing that my CV is not going to be shortlisted now. But I really wanted that profile. So what I did was I researched about the CEO of that company, of that division, of that umbrella company. And I researched about him and I wrote him an email regarding who am I and why do I want industrial training, showing him my passion for it. And I sent him, this is very important, I sent him on a weekend evening. And to my surprise, he replied to me within 2 hours. He was really happy about it, and he had sent me the email ID of the direct manager who I would have been reporting to. So I spoke with that manager, but unfortunately, the recruiting process was closed. So this did not had any output in such, but it really added my confidence that someone like a CEO is replying to my email. Now, this does not mean that you need to send out cold emails to every CEO of the company, but if you really desperately want some profile and you know you're not going to get shortlisted, so you can opt for it.
Great. Abhishek, can you chip in?
Yeah. Like it same thing is work within my articleship time. Like I have sent the mail to a partner of a big 5 firm, and he was sending me a mail ID of HR, and I will send him to a mail ID. It's same thing work for me. And I also like for a industrial training, like in my time industrial training, like I'm my 2 years of articleship will complete in March 2020. But like for that, I started applying in November 2019. At that time, like I not got any opportunities, and also on the thinking about like it is a going on time wasting, not getting studies as well for searching of industrial training. I leave the industrial training plan, but like I'm applying by any industry or anything. In the end of the March, I'm getting a profile, getting a company Aditya Birla. Like its process was too fast. Like within a 1 week, I am getting selected. I'm getting an offer letter. So like guys, keep going on, keep trying on. No one get like when we have get any opportunity to do our dream profile.
True. Apurva, can you go next?
Yeah, I will. I think I would like to share about my mistakes and how things eventually do work out. So, like I said, since I was interested in only finance profile, I knew what I wanted, and I did not apply for any other profile. Like, it was December. I still remember it was December 17th, and I couldn't get a call regarding the profile I was interested in. Like, I got a lot of other calls, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I'm like, I actually turned them down, which is something you shouldn't do. But like eventually it did work out for me, on 17th December, I knew that, on first, I will just have to start my articleship again because, I have run out of time. And on 17 December, I kind of got this rejection email from particular finance department I was really interested in. And, sometimes you just have to take that opportunity and take a chance. And I kind of replied to it. I told, I had the number, okay. We had, the interview was over call. So I had the number of the sir who was interviewing me. And I kind of wrote him this really nice message on how, if any other opportunity there is there, if he'll refer me or if he could tell me about it, I would be really grateful. And he did. And the next day I got a call for the taxation department I am in right now. So I guess take the chance and even if you get rejected, don't be disheartened. Maybe ask them, if there is any other opportunity or any other department I can work for, please refer me or refer my resume, because since you got a call for some other department, it means that he liked your CV and your work, right? So just don't be disheartened and keep going. You will get there eventually.
True. Bandhan, can you go next? I think Bandhan is on mute.
He's muted again, Simi.
Yeah. I think I am unmuted. Okay. So just would like to share a quote, I had read 2-3 days ago that, do not limit yourselves to a certain thing, what you think. So many people limit themselves to what they think. If you believe, you can achieve. So you have to come forward, keep putting efforts and be ambitious, keep setting up goals for you, and one day, and I think those efforts will be always worthy. They will always result in a fruitful result. The only thing is that the timing, some people get success earlier, some people get success late. So I can take my own example. I applied around 35 companies in last 4 months. At that time, 12 months was the maximum tenure for industrial training. So I applied to 35 companies, and out of which I only got 2. And also I left hope that actually at that time COVID started. So I left hope that many companies were revoking their vacancies. So I got only 2 calls. And and out of which one was the one which was very interesting to me, because I had already worked on that particular business model and wanted to get more. So I was really happy that yes, my efforts have brought me something fruitful to me. And at the same time, I mean working from work from home during my entire tenure was something different. The most beautiful thing that I had learned is how agile you can be. So agile means that how do you adapt to new circumstances, and how do you beat the challenges that you have. So it's up to you. In fact, Jeff Bezos, I would like to share his quotes. He told me that there are 2 situations to a circumstance, and one is that let that circumstance put a step on you. I mean, let that circumstance kill you, and let that circumstance be burdened. I mean, let that circumstance, either you can take that opportunity, or either you can treat that circumstance as a difficulty, and that difficulty might throw you somewhere. Instead of that, there's another thing, how you convert that circumstance into an opportunity to succeed in life. Now it depends upon your mindset. That's what I have learned, and thank you for being wonderful audience, and thank you all the speakers for sharing your valuable insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Before I take a leave, I actually missed out Payas' question. So Payas Mehta, is it just going to your question quickly? The different portals are LinkedIn, Quora, then it's Naukri.com, LinkedIn pages. Then there are Telegram groups and ICI branches. So do check out on that. Thank you for the wonderful session, guys. Thank you for giving your time. Thank you all the participants for being so cooperative. And it was an amazing session. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward for more. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.